What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. What we're going to be talking about is how you need to understand that mobility and flexibility is sport specific. So what I mean by that is the demands of mobility and your flexibility through certain joints and whatnot will vary and change depending on your sport. So let's talk about powerlifting, for example. A powerlifter is not going to need as much T-spine mobility and also shoulder mobility as an Olympic weightlifter will need, okay? For a powerlifter, all the demands that they need for their shoulder mobility is to be able to have their arms in relatively tight on a back squat so that they can maximize upper back tightness, which will really vastly help their squat. Enough shoulder mobility to allow them to comfortably come down and touch the chest in the bench press without causing pain, and also on the overhead press, which I talked about before. Again, this is also lat mobility, is being able to bring your arm up and over your head to finish off your overhead press. Any more mobility than you need for those certain things, in my opinion, is just a waste, because it is not going to impact or improve your performance in any way, shape or form. If you look at the squat for a powerlifter as well, a powerlifter is only going to need to be able to hit parallel, or in some federations about an inch below parallel, okay? So again, any more mobility than they need to hit that parallel or an inch below is going to be a waste, because at the end of the day it's not going to improve their performance. And one thing you've also got to think about is too much flexibility and mobility is actually a bad thing, because, well, it's going to destabilize. If you're too flexible or too mobile, you're going to destabilize your joints, which is going to lead to a greater increase or injury, and especially later on in life, when muscle atrophy sets in just due to aging, then you're definitely going to have a lot of hip and joint pains and also a lot of joint injuries, and that can lead to stuff like having to have your hip replaced. I mean, look at a gymnast. You get any top world-class gymnast, when they're then find them at 60, 70 years old, their hips are going to be absolutely screwed. So again, it is sport specific. Like I said, a powerlifter, any more mobility than a parallel or an inch below isn't needed. However, if you are an Olympic lifter, well, to do the clean and jerk and the snatch as optimally as possible, you are going to need to literally have your bum about an inch or two from the ground. You're going to have to be able to squat extremely low. Therefore, the mobility and the flexibility through certain joints and certain muscles to be able to get down that low is going to be a much greater demand than a powerlifter would need. And again, you can apply to all sports, with rugby, with football or soccer, if you're American, or even American football, or hockey, or it just all changes. It is completely sport specific. So please, my friends, when you're doing your mobility routines and when you're working on your mobility and your flexibility, don't just aimlessly do stuff. Think about your sport, okay? Think about what you are doing and why you're going to be doing it, and you can reach, for example, my flexibility around my hips and my shoulders and through my spine is almost as optimal as where I want it to be. So for example, I am flexible enough for my squats to get about half an inch to an inch below parallel, which I try and hit in most of my squats. My shoulders are flexible enough, and my lats and whatnot are all flexible enough to allow me to bring my arm completely overhead to finish the overhead press and to bench press optimally. So therefore, realistically, all I am doing now is just maintenance mobility work, and that's something you need to take into mind, okay? So, to wrap this video up, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I really hope you've found something informative. Make sure you give the video a big thumbs up, and I'll be seeing all of you guys next time.
Would you ever forget anything you know? Take a chance to step outside.